Welcome to Daily Joys. In this episode I'm going to be showing you my Coturnix quail, or as they're also called, Japanese quail. I'm going to be looking at their housing that I keep them in at night and during the day, and talking about their basic care needs. This is the cage that I keep my Jumbo Coturnix Quail in overnight. It's a 4-foot by 2-foot rabbit cage with a tarpaulin on the top to protect them from the elements, and I find that this works really well. Every morning I come down and I have a look in their cage for eggs. With their eggs, being Jumbo Coturnix Quail, they're slightly larger than the standard Coturnix Quail eggs. And during the winter months, unfortunately, their egg production does drop off. I've got 5 hens in here, and this morning I've managed to get 4 eggs, which is actually really good for this time of year. Once I've collected the eggs, I then collect the birds and I put them out into their run, which they go out into during the day. This is a 6-foot by 4-foot rabbit run, and they really love going out into this during the day to forage around for bugs and grubs. They say that the minimum space requirement for a Coturnix quail is 1 square foot per bird, although I think that it's nice to give them a little bit of extra space. So that's what I do with my birds. Once you've put them all out, you then need to put their water and their food into the cage with them, because they need access to this at all times. Coturnix quail need a higher protein content in their food than chickens, and so I get them a special organic turkey grower mix, and this has got a 22% protein content because they need between 20 and 22% protein in their food. When they're chicks, for the first 6 weeks, they need a slightly higher protein content. They need 25% protein. On the right here is my male roux with his brown chest. And on the left, you can see all of the hens, and they've got little brown spots all over their chests. So they're really easy to sex. You can tell when the male roux is in breeding season because he develops a really rusty brown neck. And he hasn't got this at the moment. But once he does develop this, I will be collecting the eggs from the hens and I will be hatching some out, which will be really lovely. These birds in here I hatched out last year, and they were such cute little chicks. They looked like little fluffy bumblebees, and they were absolutely tiny. So I'm really looking forward to being able to do that again, and I'll video it and update my YouTube channel with them. These birds start laying at between 6 to 8 weeks of age, so they're really early maturers, and they reach full size in about 12 weeks, which is just incredible that they grow at that speed, and that's why they need the higher protein content in their food. They can lay up to 200 eggs in their first year, but in order to do this they need between 14 and 18 hours of light, and so if you do want a higher egg production, you will need to give them some artificial lighting during the winter months when it gets dark. Their life expectancy is between 2 and 2.5 years, so they don't have a very long life expectancy. And this is a real shame because they are such lovely birds. Once they've been out in their run for the day, I then put them back into their home for the night so that they're protected from predators and from the elements. If you decide that you would like to hatch these birds out, unfortunately the hens don't ever go broody, which is a real shame, and so you will need to get yourself an incubator and a brooder. On the right you can see one of the birds is having a little bit of a dust bath in here, and he's fluffing up all of his feathers and getting all of the wood chips all over it. And this is really important for them to be able to do because it allows them to clean their feathers, and it means that it prevents them from getting mites and things like that. During the summer months I also put a dust path in their run during the day, but I find that in the winter months it gets too muddy and wet, and so they aren't actually able to use it as a dust bath, and so I just let them use their wood chips in their nighttime home to give their feathers a good old clean. And they really enjoy doing this, and they look so funny when they're completely covered in all of the wood chips. On the left you'll be able to see that there's a little white bowl, and in this I have got their grit and their oyster shell, and it's really important to give the female quail oyster shell if you're not feeding them a layer mix, because they need the added calcium for their shells. So once I've put them in, I cover them up with the tarpaulin so that I can protect them from the elements and from predators, and then they're all safe and locked up for the night. If you have any more questions about the quail, please leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to answer any questions you have on them. But they're fantastic birds and I thoroughly recommend them for anybody wanting fresh eggs that doesn't have space for chickens. Hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!